welcome to the Free Voice Podcast. I am your host, Clyde Sampson, and today we're broadcasting live from Atlanta, Georgia. This podcast is being brought to you by dalramp.org. There you will find all the latest information on the Delta Ramp organizing campaign. So go to dalramp.org to get the facts. Now on today's show, we're going to be talking about 5 characteristics an organizer must have on the inside that will make them an effective organizer. So the first thing an organizer must have is a dream or a vision. That's the foundation of organizing. That's the foundation of what an organizer must have on the inside that makes them an effective organizer. My first example is Martin Luther King, and I will be referencing him a lot throughout the podcast. His dream and his vision kept him living during his time on the earth. He had a dream that African Americans would be treated equally in the United States, despite the system of Jim Crow. That's what kept him going. That's what kept him organizing. On one side, you have his dream. Other side, you have Jim Crow segregation. So something's got to give. And Martin Luther King was determined to see his dream manifested instead of living in a system of Jim Crow. So that's what our dream is for the Delta Ramp organizers or the Delta Ramp organizing campaign. On one side, we have a vision of having a collective bargaining agreement for the workers on Delta Ramp. Now, on the other side, you have certain people that want to just keep things the same, that don't want to negotiate, just happy with whatever they get. So, something's got to give. We believe our dream and our vision will overtake that system that says, okay, we can just have whatever that company gives us. Our dream and our vision causes us to organize, causes us to get people to sign union cards so that we can vote for union representation. Our dream and our vision causes action. We got to organize for something, and we're organizing for that collective bargaining agreement. And ultimately, that's what caused Dr. Martin Luther King to organize his dream or his vision. He spent his life organizing. And so in his organizing efforts, he realized he can't defeat the system of Jim Crow by himself. He needs other people. He needs people believing in his dream and his vision and following him so we can make change in the United States. So we need other people that work at Delta Airlines to follow us, to follow our dream and our vision so that we can produce change at Delta Airlines. So that's why we're organizing. That's our foundation, our dream and our vision. And that dream and the vision will cause you to organize. You got to have that foundation. So next thing that you got to have a love for the people you're organizing. Martin Luther King, he risked his life, went to jail, organizing so that African Americans will have better opportunities in the United States. So he had a willingness to sacrifice his life for others. Martin Luther King, he was down there in Memphis trying to organize sanitation workers when he was assassinated. His love for me, his love for other African Americans in the United States caused him to organize. And there's some people who didn't like it, but his love still lives today. He may not be here in the physical realm, but he's here spiritually. And so his love for the people he was organizing caused him to go down to Memphis to organize the masses. And that's what it takes. You can't be about yourself when organizing. You can't think about yourself. You have to think about the masses first. And that's the key point, having the love for the people you're organizing. We're organizing for people down the road. I'm organizing for that person that's just coming in the door. And then 25 years later, he can retire at a decent age and have decent retirement benefits. That's the reason we're organizing. I'm not organizing solely for myself. I'm organizing solely for the masses. The masses come before yourself. And that's what it takes. We need more people who think collectively instead of individually. Our team with Delta Ramp Organizing Committee, we have people that sacrifice their time traveling, sacrificing their time organizing outside of work, taking their time on conference calls. It's kind of like a second job for some of them, but they're sacrificing their time for the 14,000 people who are employed at Delta on the ramp. So that's what it takes. It takes people that are willing to sacrifice their time and energy for the masses. Now, another characteristic that organizers must possess is patience. Your dream and your vision is not going to come to place overnight. So you got to have the patience to run the race. You got to have the patience to endure hardships, to press through hard times. And the impatient, they're going to fall by the wayside when things get hard. Or they're going to fall by the wayside when someone offends them. Or they're going to fall by the wayside when things don't go their way in organizing. So that's what effective organizers do. They endure hardships. They press through hard times so that their dream can be manifested. In our organizing efforts, we're almost 10 years in the game trying to organize the ramp workers at Delta. But we have certain people who are dedicated to see that thing come to pass and to see us negotiate our first contract. We got people that's willing to endure. Now, we have some people that have fallen by the wayside for whatever reasons, but the thing that drives our campaign are the people who are patient enough to keep pressing. Now, the next characteristic an organizer must have is honesty. Now, this is a big one because people that you're trying to organize have to believe in the organizer. If people don't believe in you, you're not honest, and you don't have the integrity, then people you're trying to organize, they're just going to look at you crazy, or they're not going to believe in you. They're not going to take you seriously. So organizers must have that degree of integrity to lead the masses. Organizers must have that honesty, that integrity to bring in other organizers, to show them how to organize. So you got to have that honesty. You got to have that integrity on the inside of you when people look up to you and that are willing to follow you. Martin Luther King, he had integrity and he had lieutenants that were helping him out. He had the masses that were willing to follow him to Washington, D.C. for the March on Washington because people believed in him. He had that integrity. He was honest with the people. And so when you're honest, you're going to have people to follow you. And that's what organizers do. Organizers have that skill set to get people to believe in their dream and their vision so that others can follow them and that people are willing to organize with us. Now, the next characteristic an organizer must have is 0 ounces of fear. Martin Luther King, when he marched on the Edmund Pettus Bridge from Selma to Montgomery, he wasn't fearing the police. He wasn't fearing the dogs. He wasn't fearing the clubs. The only thing that was on his mind is his dream or his vision, his dream of equality for African Americans. And that's what separates organizers from ordinary people. Organizers are not ordinary people. They possess that skill set where they don't allow fear to hamper their organizing efforts. And just like us on the Delta Ramp Organizing Committee, some of us have faced situations where we could have gotten fired for our organizing efforts, but we don't allow that fear of losing our job to get us to stop. We press forward when times get hard, and that's because we don't allow fear to get us to quit. Because if you have fear, you don't focus. You don't focus on your dream or your vision. You don't focus on the masses. When you operate in fear, you focus on yourself and you focus on quitting and abandoning your dream or your vision. So that's what we got to do. As organizers, we have to get rid of the fear so that we can see our dream and our vision manifested for the workers at Delta Airlines. And that's a certain characteristic that our politicians must have. They can't be afraid to come out and support us. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, Senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders, he came out and supported the Delta Ramp organizing campaign. But yet, some politicians in Georgia that are afraid to stand with us. they're allowing that fear. They're allowing the fear of not being reelected, or the fear of not being socially accepted in the corporate world, to hamper organizing with us. And also, hate to say it, but there's some people that call themselves activists that are afraid to endorse our campaign. I hate to say it, some of them were organizing during the civil rights movement with Dr. King, but they allowed the fear to set in. And fear caused them to say, okay, yeah, they're organizing, but, I'm not with that. Or I might lose some money. But we don't walk by fear at the Delta Ramp organizing campaign. We're working to see our dream and our vision manifested in the physical earthly realm. So that's my 5 characteristics organizing must have. There are more, but I think these are the most important in building an effective organizer. So that's today's show. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe to the channel, Fleet Voice channel on YouTube. Again, go to dalramp.org to be informed. Facebook, Delta Workers Unite. Twitter, DAL Ramp Unite. And on Instagram, DAL Ramp Unite. And don't be afraid to organize. Don't be afraid to stand with our campaign. We have a dream and a vision, and it's a good one. It's a good cause. And we need more organizers who are willing to step up. So again, that's today's show. I'll be back next week. I won't take a month off, with more news and more information on the Delta Workers Unite campaign. And I am Clyde Sampson signing off. Thank you for listening.